You are now listening to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
My name is DJ Vince Adams. I absolutely appreciate what the Chicago Clubhouse crew is doing for the city of Chicago.
Hey, young world, what's good? It's your boy Bernard Varian, a.k.a. B Twice.
What up? This is Rasheed Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver.
Hey, my name is Lemuel Stinson, a.k.a. Lemonhead, formerly of the Chicago Bears.
What's up? My name is C.J. Watson, former Bulls guard and bench farm creator.
This is 2-time six-man all-star baller Ricky Deuces Pierce.
What's up, people? This is Chicago radio legend Rick Party, the voice you hear everywhere.
My name is Pee-wee from the movie House Party.
This is Megan Martinez from the Good and Funny podcast.
Hey, this is Bubba Ball from the Shits podcast.
Hey, this is Nika from One Shot Wellness, Reverend from the ATL, dropping some drips on that Chi-Town Clubhouse podcast.
This is Sherry, and you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
You're now rocking with Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
Where they think they know everything.
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 But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But honestly, they don't know shit.
And I smell something. I smell podcast. The Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Show.
They really don't know shit.
You already know what time it is.
You see this Eddie Jackson jersey right here? Take this.
This dude literally just took my soul.
So I didn't like playing with Brett Favre at all.
You could have waited until the draft if you wanted to look at another quarterback. You didn't have to sign Andy Dalton, who is really nothing but a backup.
Evander Holyfield is 58 years old. What you want to fight a 58-year-old man?
But man, he wants to keep fighting.
Because he want to fight him. Okay, it's an exhibition.
But yeah, it's an exhibition because
this ain't Drago and Apollo Creed, man. Ain't nobody about to.
Man, Martin and Tommy Hearns was an exhibition. You saw what happened to Martin.
This could hurt.
Thanks, Hayden. Nothing but the best.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, bro, tough for real, man.
Yeah, man. He like tougher than some grown folks I know, man.
That as a coach, your job is to give your players the best opportunity to have success.
Michael Jordan, when he came back at LeBron James' age, he was a straight up nothing.
That is blasphemy on his computer right now.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Without Dennis Rodman, I couldn't see them winning like they did those second three championships. I can't see it.
I agree.
And now I'm the voice of SportsCenter on ESPN. Now on SportsCenter. Tonight, LeBron James. And whatever.
Do you guys really coach how exactly to tackle correctly? Because I see it all over the league now. People cannot tackle like they did whenever you guys played. But do you guys practice tackling at all?
Welcome back to the podcast where we think we know everything, but we don't know shit. But we had an eventful weekend past week. There are two women's professional teams from Chicago in the playoffs. We'll talk about that in a second. This is Overreaction Tuesday. Yeah, the Bears played well. They played real well on Saturday against the Chiefs. And we're definitely going to dive all into that. But, and we're going to have overreaction, of course. But let's relax. This is one game. I'm not taking anything away from them. And I know that the guys are not going to take anything away from them, but as JB always says, we need to be cautiously optimistic. Everybody has a birthday. They could have had a good day, and that's it. Once they're consistent, and then it's a game situation where it actually counts, then we can be excited. So then, rah, all of that. Moore's beer, everything. Let's get excited, man. But as you can see, I'm in a hotel again. I'm in Indianapolis. And, the gas prices are cheap as hell. It was like $3.69. Remember when that shit was expensive for us? $3.69? That shit cheap as hell. I drove my car here and I was like, damn, I need to figure out how to rob the gas station so I can get some of his cheap gas. So I don't have to pay $5.79 at home for some gas. But yeah, so I'm in Indianapolis now. And I had a run-in with a Colts fan. Well, actually, he was a Colts/Packers fan. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that happens. It was friendly banter. He was getting on my nerves, so I left the bar. But it wasn't like no fight or nothing. It was okay. But anyway, enough about that. We want to get into these Bears. So let me bring in my all-star team. Foulmouth could not join us today. He has some other things he has to tend to. But I got my other guys up in here, so let me bring them in. First up, my man who knows every single stat from every single team since the 80s and 90s, basketball and football, my man JB. JB, what's good, man?
What's going on, brother? How you feel?
I can't call it. But this is the first time I've seen you drinking beer in a mug.
You know what? Sometimes you got to get sophisticated. Right?
Switching it up, huh? Oh, you sophisticated today.
I'm going to have my pinky up, But, man, did you say Packers/Colts fan?
Yeah, that was weird, right?
What kind of abomination is that?
He's from North Carolina.
Okay, yeah,
it was weird. It was real weird.
And I could see the Colts fan if he was Peyton Manning, but not the Packers,
I even thought that to myself, dude, you are a weird motherfucker. The Colts and Packers, but you don't even like the Panthers, and that's where you from? Oh, you weird, dog. And I can't even have this conversation with you. So I left. I left, man. It wasn't even worth it. He was all fucked up. He was all fucked up. But let's bring in our second part of All-Star team. He's no longer the rookie. No longer the rookie. But he is the guy with that Hawk talk. Frank the Tank.
What up?
Big Frank? What's
Indianapolis good? Packers fan from North Carolina. Like, what the conversation should have ended right there. It should have been like, you're a freaking bandwagon loser, dude. Get the hell out of here.
That shit was weird. But he told me that he loved Jay Cutler because Jay Cutler threw almost as many completions to Packers players as Brett Favre did. That shit was funny.
You know what? Hey.
That shit was funny. That shit was funny. I had to laugh at that. But yeah, he was getting on my nerves otherwise. It was like, aren't you always mad? I wanted to say, yes, I am always mad.
Yeah, whatever. Let that.
Don't even give
I wish. Can he come on this podcast? Love to debate him on this podcast and find out what the.
If I see him again, you know what? I'm gonna be like, man, let me get your information. I'm gonna put you on the Bears podcast. Let's see.
Yeah, right. You can come battle us on here.
Right. Let's see how that go. Let's just see how that go. Hey, real quick, before we kick anything off, man, I want to give some special shout outs real quick. Emilio Bucks. Shout out to him from Plunked. Him and Kristen Petit. Definitely check out their podcast, Plunked. But Emilio, he also does beats. and he kicked me a couple dope beats today. Because I ain't working on a new intro.
Oh, nice.
For this show. So he kicked me some beats, but yeah, he cold, man. So shout out to you, Emilio. Shout out to Kristen, because Kristen has a organization called Be the Miracle. Hopefully we can get her in here soon to talk about it. But I believe that it helps underprivileged, underprivileged kids. So big shout out to Kristen.
Absolutely.
I want to shout out all the groups that support us, all the individuals in those groups that support us. We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube page, go subscribe to it, because I feel like this season we're going to have some pop-up guests only on YouTube. And I'm sure you've seen our guest list from the past, so you don't want to miss out, because these dudes have great stories, funny stories, inspiring stories. So you definitely want to check all that out. Yeah, and that's about it, man. So we can get right into this Bears stuff, man. And let me throw this up if I could get to it.
Bad internet out there in Indianapolis to go along with their football teams?
Yeah, they do have sucky internet. Here it is. So, first things first, we're going to talk about these Bears. So, I made a post the other day. And this was the post. Of course, the Bears won the game against Kansas City. But I made a few observations. And I listed those observations. And one of the first ones that I made, and I'm going to show you, one of the first observations I made was about this. And we said some players did actually play well. They showed some flashes. But this is one of the points that I made, and we can talk about this too.
Starting center, perhaps. He is dealing with a hand injury. Good moves by Ebner. Big run, first down into Chiefs territory. Inside the 35-yard line, Jalen Watson missed a tackle, and Ebner took full advantage.
So that is one of a few that I wanted to say. So might I say a little Matt Forte-esque?
With a little bit more speed.
JB, what you think?
I didn't really see the Matt Forte style. To me, although it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, that one plant in the ground go, that was a little Le'Veon Bell-esque to me.
Well, it's even better. Right,
which is still good because, I mean, hell, if you have either one of those two in their prime on that team, I'm a Matt Forte fan. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take some credit from Matt Forte all day. Like, if you say he's as good as Matt Forte, we're rolling with something. But no, I think when you have a guy that can plant and not lose speed like that, especially on that outside zone running game that they have, that's going to make us very, very dangerous. And it's going to be a welcome addition to not just dropping back and throwing the ball 50 times.
So the reason I said Matt Forte-esque is because Matt Forte he never really stayed still. And, he was kind of like Joe Frazier. He was always juking, moving. And that's what Tristan did. I don't know if y'all peeped it, but he made a jab step that broke, I forgot what's his name. He broke some ankles.
Yeah, that's that one step plant and go. Like show it again, because for those who didn't see, it's right at the beginning of the tape.
Yes.
Wish we can hit that slow motion on there to see that plant and go.
Yeah, I'm not that technically inclined. But yeah, that plant in psych, I'm not going that way. Someone just flew. I mean, that to me was a little bit Matt Forte-esque, but I think that he might be a little bit faster than Matt Forte. But also, if Tristan can be consistent with that, and he does kickoff returns.
And he had a good kickoff return, too.
Yes, he did.
Start off the game.
So if he does the same things that Khalil Herbert does, and David Montgomery wants his money, and let's say David Montgomery plays this season, Khalil Herbert might be the odd man out. So I'm changing my tune a little bit. I said David Montgomery was not going to be a Bear next season. I know this is Overreaction Tuesday, so let me pull it back a little bit.
You are starting that, yeah, for sure.
If Tristan is consistent and Montgomery plays well, it could be that Khalil Herbert could be the odd man out. It could be. And I'll just leave that at that.
The one thing you got to say, though, is that was against, somebody who was trying to tackle him, who's probably going to work at our former coach's McDonald's drive-through window. Like, it was a third-string player trying to tackle him. But regardless, you can't teach that plant-and-go speed that he showed right there. That was impressive, for sure.
It is, and it's like I said before, it's one of those things where it's not labored. Like we've seen guys that almost have to come to a complete stop before they make that move. He was one plant and go, and don't forget, Ebner, he's running, 5'11". He's kind of compact built. I think he's kind of built. He's built for, like, how can I put it? He's built to get up out of there. Unlike, because remember, guys, like Matt Forte was a bigger back. He was 6'2", running a 4.4 and some change. Ebner's 5'11", so he's kind of, maybe Alvin Kamara-ish size, frame-wise. Better yet, Marshall Faulk, like that type of frame, where it's literally like that's the ideal running back for the Bears right now. Kind of get lost behind those big hogs when they get moving on the outside, and he just pop one like. That's what I do like. And then, as you see, he has breakaway speed.
Are you saying a high thing right there is going to be Alvin Kamara? Because I want to take that.
I mean, I'm just looking
at ceiling of Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. I was looking at a similar body type.
And the way he plays the game is similar, like him.
Because like to be honest with you, like T, when you had mentioned Matt Forte, I'm just like, man, for a 6'2", 220, 30-pound guy, Matt Forte ran that for a 4.6 and was up out of there. Like that. That's like Derrick Henry. Ran that 4.5. Like everybody that's that big doesn't run that fast.
Yeah.
So for him to even be in that league with that speed, man, I just like what he does. And then I like the fact that he can actually catch, of which Khalil Herbert. I know he was on the jugs machine.
I was just gonna say that'd be a nice post-it note right there too to see
I'm
what
glad
he did.
you brought that up, JB.
Fields drop back, has the release to Herbert, who bobbled it and dropped it.
All that damn real estate. You drop that fucking ball. That's not gonna get you on the team. That's not gonna get you on the team, man. You can't do that shit. You can't do that, man. He had all that room. Nobody was near him. Drop the fucking ball.
And that is a staple play of Luke Getsy's offense, because that's the play, if you notice, that Aaron Rodgers throws to Aaron Jones a lot.
All the time.
Where they just send everybody off into one side or the other, and then he just has all this real estate because they cut walk down. And, I mean, he's got to catch that. I mean, Herbert's fast too, but it's a lot of guys, for whatever reason, some people just have trouble, zooming in, catching that ball. And
I mean, you could see he started looking where he was going to run before the ball came in.
But even that, though, Frank, that's just one. He had two others.
He did. He dropped quite a few in that game.
The check down in the middle of the field was really pissy on third down because, I mean, you got to have that. In this particular offense, you have to have that.
Yep.
You have to.
But I mean, you got to look at.
Thought you were get his hands together, Could he be the one? And this is where I say Scrooge McDuck needs to not be cheap. If Monty is going to, or Demo as y'all like to call him, if he's going to give you a hometown discount of the tune of anywhere between 9 to 11 mil, and he has one of those 1,500 to a 2,000 yard combined season, go ahead and keep Monty, man, and maybe we'll stop Herbert, especially if Ebner keeps producing and progressing like he is.
I agree with that. And I mean, the one thing with Herbert too, and I will say, because I posted it on the page, like the very next day at practice, he was there 3 hours before practice started, taking catches out of a jug machine. So at least it shows he doesn't want that shit to keep happening. He's going to do everything in his power to fix it. But I mean, the key thing is it wasn't a regular season game. All right, it was the first preseason game. If he did that in the first regular season game, like, then we'd be having some real big conversations when it comes down to that.
See, Diab, you're being a prisoner of the moment right now because he did it last year. Timely drops, especially on those angle routes where he cuts out.
It's not a strength for him.
It's not a strength for him.
But nobody is demoting him. We're just simply saying that ain't so great. But yeah, it's one bad preseason game. Like I said, this is Overreaction Tuesday, but we try not to overreact on this podcast.
I mean, I don't think that's an overreaction. That's just an observation, right? At this point.
Well, it's an observation, but it's just an observation saying that he might not be able to make a second team if he's going to be dropping passes like that. He might be saying,
there's another guy that I'd like to bring up if you're not segueing.
Please, because I'm pretty sure I know who this is. Please.
Are the initials DN?
Yep. I tried to pull up that highlight too, but you know what? My computer didn't even want me to pull that shit up. It was so bad. It didn't even want me to pull it up, man. How? Go ahead, JB. Take it.
So, I mean, we've heard about the drops in practice. We know he was injured last year, and we know that he didn't, there was not – when he was on the field, he didn't really produce. But, I mean, he caught the one touchdown. That was one of those, like, dude, if you don't catch that particular ball, just keep running through the tunnel, turning your playbook to the secretary.
Go home.
Grab all your shit and go home. Just keep on going. You drop that corner route from the slot. Like, you drop that, dude, just bye.
Just go.
But
run straight to that unemployment office.
Right. Don't even pack your stuff, man. Just go.
Or whatever the what was it? The Chicago what was it? The arena team? Yeah, go play for them.
I mean, he probably couldn't make that team the way he's driving passes.
I'm just like, my God. And then the muff punt. Like, I'm so tired of that. And I'm not saying like anybody can do it, because clearly if anybody can do it, everybody would do it. But it's like we're looking for something out of this guy, out of this kid. You know what I'm saying?
He's been given a lot of chances, though, man.
All the speed in the world, all the God-given talent, put you in the mind of a Tavon Austin of some sorts. And it's just the hands, man, the hands. Go ahead. I'm to this point, I'm ready to cut ties because I saw others that produced.
I don't want to be petty, but even that touchdown that
he bobbled it a little bit. He bobbled it. He did. Bobbled it. It came down with it, but it was definitely a bobble.
Oh,
should be his nickname right there. The bobble.
I don't mean to be petty. We're not being petty. We're just making an observation, as JB said.
So I'm curious. The final four, we'll call it, right? I like what I've seen from Pettis. Love what I saw from Tajay Sharp. You talking about a quarterback's best friend? Go up and get it,
catch, man.
The thought, go get it.
You have that catch?
Just go get it.
Actually.
Oh, post that catch, man.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
He had two of them.
Well, I want that sideline one. That was
Actually, let's the play right after that catch.
Mm-hmm.
Justin used his legs. That's what we need. So let's go ahead. Let's check that out.
The Chiefs bring pressure. Fields hit as he throws. Oh, my goodness. What a great effort by Tajay Sharp to hole it in. That was a spectacular grab. A pickup of 19 on 3rd and 9. Deion Bush got to Fields and hit his ex-teammate. But Tajay Sharp with a beautiful adjustment. The 7th-year man out of UMass.
Bears playing fast so they can't challenge it.
And they get the snap off. Fields ducking through traffic and taking off to use the legs. And he's got the first down. What a two-play sequence there for the Bears offense.
All right, can I start this one?
I didn't let it get the close-up of Tajay Sharp, but it was like this.
Dude, that was
a hell of a catch. A hell of a catch. And that was a hell of a throw because Justin put it only where Tajay could get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Frank. You said you want to kick it off?
This, and as much as we all, and I'm going to give him praise for this. So I'm going to give my little shout out right here because I hate the freaking clown. But if anyone saw Olowski's post-game thing the next day, breaking down that play, he was so proud of Justin Fields before he threw that ball. Because if we rewind it a little bit more to see the entire play, he read the defense. He pushed a tight end in and in motion because he read a blitz was coming.
Yes.
Offensive line still, unfortunately, did not pick up that blitz. But they did hold the spot just long enough. He didn't freak out. He stayed in his pocket. He delivered a throw that only that guy can catch.
Yes.
That was a perfect play from start to finish. And it was just beautiful.
I tried to get that part too, because we all remember what happened when he did not pick up a blitz.
Pressure on Fields. Oh, the helmet came off. That's going to be a flag as well. And that ball is loose. Lot to sort out. Fields, good to see him back up on his feet. That was a jarring shot from Andre Smith.
Personal foul. That's number 59. 15-yard penalty.
It's funny you posted that because that was the exact same defensive play where he read that defense and he pushed his tight end to cover that blitz.
The exact same thing. We didn't want
not to even mention too. He audibled out to his receiver, saying pretty much in an audible type words that I am going to throw to you back shoulder right away because the blitz is coming at me. It was just for somebody who's brand new to the team in Sharp, him and Fields to have that kind of thing this early. That was great to see. Which is another reason why Newsome will not be on the team.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was dope, man.
We know it was a hell of a throw, but still, like, it's something to be said about that catch, Dion. Again, T, I don't want to jump the gun, but if people want to call in or
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fan appreciation day. So if you want to chime in and you want to be seen, come on. I'm gonna post the link in a second. If you're more comfortable just standing in the chat, do that.
I'd like to talk to my man Ant Walker, who's a ref. I'd like to talk to him because I have a couple of questions myself.
Is that Lions fan on too?
This
could always bring him on.
But this is not football. This is just petty me. Now, as great as a catch as that was, and on the first replay, you could see that clearly it was a catch. But what I didn't like, did you all notice that the ref was kind of fumbling with the ball before he kind of got a place down, and they're like in the hurry of trying to get the play off before they call, before
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah. Are we allowed to play that again?
Which one now?
The one that you just played. Are we okay to play that
Tajay Sharp catch again?
Tajay Sharp.
The Chiefs bring pressure. Fields hit as he throws. Oh my goodness! What a great effort by Tajay Sharp to hole it in. That was a spectacular.
No, I was going to say.
Yeah, we wanted to see the middle of the play because he said the ref was like holding on to the ball.
The Chiefs bring pressure. Fields hit as he throws. Oh my goodness! What a great effort by Tajay Sharp to hole it in. That was a spectacular grab. A pickup of 19 on 3rd and 9. Deion Bush got to Fields and hit his ex-teammate. But Tajay Sharp with a beautiful adjustment. The 7th-year man out of UMass.
Bears playing fast so they can't challenge it.
And they get the snap off. Fields ducking through traffic.
Now, did you see how one ref threw it to the second ref, then the second ref handed it to the third ref, then the third ref was like, okay, where's it at? Move.
Well, I think they had a little mishap on the ball placement, though, from what
and that's what I'm talking about. But normally, the chain gang gets set, and when you hurry up, the ref usually hurries with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. It's just petty, but I just wanted to know from a ref standpoint, is there like a time that you have to get that ball set? Because the Chiefs, although they would have lost it, could have easily challenged that, and then we wouldn't have had that Justin run on the very next play.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what I'm like, things like that. When you get mental reps, I'm like, come on, ref, let's go.
It could be just preseason working out the kinks for them too.
Could be. And it was, like I said, it was just if Ant Walker could, if he's listening, if he could check in and just give us that little side of the referees portion and positioning. That's all I want to know, because I was just, when we were watching it live time, I know all of us were kind of like, hurry up, let's go, like come on. And then Justin made a nice run. That was kind of Cam Newton / Randall Cunningham-esque, wasn't it? He ducked under a little bit and dipped out like
prime Cam Newton for sure.
Yeah, like I love that about him. And then he had the wherewithal, like, I'm not gonna call a stupid play. I'm gonna hurry up and get it, and got up out of there. Like, I think Justin's progressing very, very nicely. That throw, not just the placement, but you had to have some zip on that ball to get it there from that part too. It looked like it might have lobbed in the air a little bit, but no, because that defender was right there, and it definitely had a little sauce on it to get there.
So also, I wanted to bring up Jaquan Brisker.
Oh God!
You talking about my guy? You talking about my guy?
That was a fucking beast.
He's like a Tasmanian devil.
Is Eddie Jackson even playing?
Eddie Jackson
I couldn't even notice because the brisket was all over the place.
Wait,
and this is not a hit against Eddie Jackson. I just didn't know.
He was out there avoiding smoke.
Yeah, that first series, right?
Okay.
He was out there avoiding smoke. He didn't want no smoke. He pretended like he was going to tackle, but he wasn't going to tackle nobody.
I didn't even see him. I'm not going to lie. Everywhere I freaking looked, brisket was there.
Normally I don't do this, because other shows do it too. But I told you.
Hey, I love that pick too. So
I told y'all when I heard my laundry, I would have took
that third round pick.
I told y'all he was a first round talent. I said, if him or Lewis Sin drops, we better get him.
Brisker was on it, man. He was on it. He was laying that stick. He was laying that stick, boy.
Everywhere to the ball. He was just a perfect Eberflus type safety too. He just, wherever the ball went, he was there.
But remember who did we compare him to, T? Who did we say? Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Yeah, we did. We did, absolutely.
And that was very similar to like how he's playing right now. That was the first preseason game. Again, we're overreacting. It's the first preseason game. But talking about a fabulous first game.
Overreaction, maybe. But when you got a nose for the ball like that, that ain't, I don't care if that's versus A competition or F competition. You play, and he's a player. He's a ball player. And he's not afraid to get dirty.
So let me talk about a cornerback who he's not getting it. Lamar Jackson.
You don't care for Lamar?
No, I don't.
I didn't like what I saw.
Didn't he come from the Jets?
From the Jets. He comes from
in the league, but
you got a lot of tackles.
You got to grab.
Yeah, that tackle was terrible against. Matter of fact, that was against their rookie.
Yeah.
Number 10, that's their rookie. The rookie running back from Rutgers.
Now, didn't he bounce off and walk in the end zone?
He didn't score, but he got down in the red zone. They were in the red zone, but he got close to the goal.
I'm pretty sure he got inside the 5 on that play.
That is not how you make a football team.
Now wait.
Not.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because Lamar Jackson is a bigger corner, right?
Yeah,
he's
6'1".
Like 6'1", 6'2",
yeah, he's like
right?
6'1", 6'2",
So,
somewhere between there.
and don't forget, we also got the kid. We got the kid from.
So what's that got to do with anything?
We got. I don't know.
Not you, JB. I'm talking about.
No, I know what you. I read it too. That's what I'm like. I don't.
I love you, Diab. Don't worry, bud.
I think he's talking about Eddie.
We do too.
Eddie Jackson.
I'm on the show, Diab. Come on in.
Well, he's talking about Eddie. He's not talking about Lamar. He couldn't.
Yeah.
But when we got the kid from, remember we got the kid from Baltimore too. Young. What is his first name?
Who?
The kid we got from Baltimore. His name is Young. I can't remember his first name.
Tavon Young.
Okay. So now we got a log jam because don't forget, we still have Thomas Graham, who I think he's injured or he's just
he has a little minor injury, a little minor tweak.
Who can play that nickel? But didn't Kyler Gordon come out and say he would play nickel because of Lamar Jackson and Avante Young?
We need him. We need his skill set. I feel more corner. I'm not sold on those other corners that we signed.
Kyler could technically be a 1.
He could be.
So now, what if you put a 6'2" Lamar Jackson or a Thomas Graham at the nickel?
Well, that'd be
I think that'd be more ideal, right?
We need to see more out of him when it comes on to tackling, though, because that was a big weakness for us at that slot at position, that nickel position, is we missed a lot of tackles. But at the same time, we also didn't have size to save our life. We had 5'2" Vildor or any of those other freaking 5 foot.
And I was gonna say, besides DeAndre Houston Carson, who he's a ball player as well.
I like him. I really like him.
But is this the time where we give Vildor his walking papers because of Young and Jackson?
Yes.
Damn,
I didn't even have to think about that yet.
Not hesitate.
No, I'm just saying, bigger, faster, better, stronger.
There's nothing Vildor does better. Like there's really, other than maybe you can say, wait, no, not even experience. What the hell am I talking about?
No, I think they're both 3 years, right? Because Lamar was.
I thought Lamar was longer than 3 years.
Was Lamar Jackson a 3rd round pick to the Jets?
I'll have to look that up. Anyone on the chat want to look that up? I'm not too sure what round he went.
Because he's.
I thought he was like a. I thought he's
been around.
No, he's not a rookie.
Yeah, he's been around. And Young, the only reason that Baltimore got rid of him because he was hurt. Because I want to say he was either the nickel or the other corner alongside Marcus Peters like 2 years ago, right? So, like you got 2 guys that still kind of young and want to prove themselves. Hey, we've seen the Kendall Vildor story already. We know what that looks like.
And not pretty.
It's not pretty. Not pretty.
I mean, we're not going to base that off of one preseason game. We're basing that off all of last year. Like it was.
Right. It has absolutely. It literally really has nothing to do with this preseason game. It really doesn't. But I would like to say, remember Terrence? We used to have the other Adrian Peterson. They called it.
I love that Adrian.
So now let's have the other Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I mean, if he plays like that other Adrian Peterson,
that guy was all heart, man.
We'll take
all heart, skill still, but he had a lot of.
So staying on the same side of the ball, we gotta give Neek some love, man. Neek had his name called a couple times.
Yeah.
Neek had his name called a couple times, man. So I mean, he's kind of raw a little bit, but he was still getting to that QB. He was getting in there. I mean, he wasn't bringing them down, but he was applying pressure.
And pressures are very important because remember that speeds up the quarterback's clock.
Exactly.
And we chart pressures. That's an actual statistic.
Although against Patrick Mahomes, it wasn't really.
That's like we can easily say we won that game, but the first string we lost 14-0. So
check it out.
But it's amazing how easy he makes it look.
Like he didn't even go God mode. He was just But that's one of those guys. But in my full transparency here, I told you I don't like the carousel we have at left end. I just don't.
But what about the new? If we want to start a segue here, what about the new carousel over at right guard?
Let's get back to that. But let's go back to that DN because What did you all notice that maybe the untrained eye didn't notice? And not Roquan on the sideline looking like
At least he was there.
Looking like he should have been wearing the brown pants because he looked like he shit himself. But
what was that, JB?
So look at what El Kadim Muhammad was placed and was able to do. If you all remember,
he was getting a lot of pressure.
He was getting a lot of pressures.
He was getting a lot of pressure.
And last year on the Colts, a lot of people, I had to argue this, he was not a starter. He had 6 sacks, which was the most of his career, but he was a reserve. So he was in that Travis Gibson type role himself last year, right? So now I'm looking at, give me the solidification, give me Tonga, right? Give me Tonga and give me Jones as my definite tackles. But at any given time, are we going to see Kadeem backing out of that position at DN and going to a blitzing linebacker a la Lawrence Taylor-esque? And then the other two linebackers just shift and split the field in half? Because he's a little undersized, but what I noticed is he's got a motor. And you like a guy with a motor because a guy with a motor can get, when plays start to break down and do all that freaky stuff, a guy with a motor can still get there. Right. And to me, that would complement Quinn because they're going to be looking to chip and double team Quinn with a tight end and a back, right?
So you need a speedy guy.
So now if you got a guy out that left end or 2 guys that are giving you the production of 1, but we just got to solidify between those 3 because don't forget, Mario Edwards is still in the mix too.
I mean, and Dominique Robinson had
a but he's such a discipline problem though.
Well, Robinson, would you put Robinson hand in the dirt, or would you just basically put him on a kamikaze mission coming from one of them linebackers?
I don't know. Again, I mean, we're just going off the one preseason game, so it's really hard to say. But when that one sack that he had, hands in the dirt, I haven't seen too many ends get off the ball that fast.
It looked like he was shot out of a damn cannon.
Yes.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, I like that. I like that.
And then the next play, too, he went all the way across the field off a guy who was trying to cut back and made another nice tackle in the backfield.
And remember,
he's a hard
converted wide receiver.
Yeah. He's a big boy, though. And if we're going to throw, comparisons, whatever, because, again, it's first preseason game, but I saw Mark Anderson in him.
You know what?
Like that rookie year, Mark Anderson just bulldozing off the ball, man.
I had thought about the Mark Anderson comparison, and then I was looking like, if we have 4 of those guys,
right? We're getting to that ball. We're getting to that quarterback.
Look at that ball.
And that's going to make people like Eddie Jackson or Brisker's life a lot easier, too.
And it's going to actually, to me, that pressure is going to mask the deficiency we have at the linebacker court. Because I don't know if you all paid attention. It was kind of soft in that middle.
Oh, well, obviously. Since
them curls and them tight end, that was kind of soft.
That was really bad. But, I mean, we can say off of that second string middle linebacker, undrafted.
He was great.
Federal agent.
He was great.
Doesn't his name sound like a federal agent? Jack
I
Sanborn?
can see that. Or a farmer. Could be one of the 2.
Jack
that was a fabulous game.
It looked like you put on a tape of just like the most energetic go get it guy ever, and it was like, oh shit, it's Jack Sanborn. Like we actually have that guy. Now wait, hold on though. Is he a true middle? Like I'll say this because I'm not as familiar. I know he went to Ohio State, right?
Wisconsin, I think.
Wisconsin's our Big Ten. But I'm not familiar with I don't remember hearing his name in any publications to where like this is the guy you got to look for. He could be one. He could be under one of them J.J. Watt acts where he was unknown and just came out and produced, and now look what he does. Yeah. But I feel that if he is a true middle, and you can put Nicholas Morrow on the outside and get Roquan at that wheel, we might have something because the recognition, the read and recognition, that's instinctive. You really can't teach that. That's one of those things where you either have it or you don't.
Well, that guy was a 4.0 GPA student at Wisconsin too.
Very
Like
smart guy.
he's a very smart player, and he's not the most skilled player, but he is always in the right place at the right time. He reads the plays very well.
I give you that, but I don't want to get into the brainwave game with him too much because remember we had a rocket scientist as a quarterback once from Ohio State, Craig Krenzel. Remember him?
Yeah.
He was a rocket scientist. Like he could freaking fly us to Mars.
I feel offensively and defensively are two different things when it comes down to smartness.
I agree.
But I guess quarterbacks reading defense. I mean, nobody's really saying that he was really that bad of a quarterback at reading defenses. He just threw little pigeons, like they're just little floaters all the time. He had no arm.
Hey, speaking of quarterback, the second string quarterback, Trevor Seaman.
Damn,
he was kind of adequate. You know,
very accurate for sure.
Accurate, yes.
Northwestern, Denver, New Orleans, I think.
Smart player.
Yeah, hey,
good backup. Good backup.
He's a backup that we need. He's a backup that we need because you don't lose much. You may lose some speed and some athleticism, but you don't lose anything in the actual passing.
Better than Chase Daniels, eh?
Well, you know what? I can't say
Chase Daniels was a good teammate, entertaining type guy, man.
Look,
but he got paid a lot of money to be entertaining.
I was about to say between Chase Daniels and Chad Henne, like they just keep going and going, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, they just keep going and going.
Yep.
And going.
He made a lot of money just.
I'm not mad at either one of those
backup games. Those are like
but I tell you who's tomorrow. If I'm the Bears, you know who by Peterman. I don't need to see by Nathan. I don't need to see nothing from you.
Okay,
not even
you said Peterman though. You said Peterman, and I agree with you 100%. But how about that stiff arm?
That was
that was a sick.
That was crazy. That was more like
made that
bullshit.
Bitch, man. That is the highlight of him for the last 5 years, probably.
Absolutely. Other than the don't tackle me, interception. Absolutely. But the reason why, because I was going over roster numbers in my head, me and a colleague of mine, and we can't afford because of how you say the name? Blausengame?
Blassingame.
Yeah.
Because we actually have a roster spot dedicated to an actual fullback. We need to not carry 3 quarterbacks right now so that we can get that extra spot for another wide receiver because I believe we need to carry 6.
Nobody's going to take Peterman, so he's going to be there sitting on the couch if you ever need to bring him back again to be a backup.
And that's why I said but for the sake of the 53, once, remember, we only got 2 more games to cut it down. Normally we have 4 games to cut it down. We only got 2 more to cut it down. So I would think right now, because you can't really see what N'Keal Harry is going to bring you. And I'm sorry, man. Did anybody else feel that Austin Pettis and Tajay Sharp were like just better ball players than Byron Pringle? Although we haven't seen Byron Pringle because of his injury, but we saw him last year, and that was kind of like his coming out year as the 4th/5th string receiver in KC. But Tajay Sharp had a little bit of love in Atlanta. He did a little bit in Atlanta. And
we finally got somebody from Atlanta instead of the other way around.
Right. I kind of think like right now, if my wish list was to come out today, I would say Darnell, EQ, Velvet. Give me Austin.
Play it.
Oh my God.
He said Velvet. Come on, where are you, T-Nick? He said Velvet. You got to hit the button.
And then I guess
I'm Velvet Jones.
And I guess I'm torn for that last spot, that 6th spot, because we don't know who else is going to produce tomorrow. But right now on my list, Harry goes to the pup list, and we can say goodbye to Daz. Like, peace, dude.
I don't know. I don't know how much more chances we can give that guy. That was like the same amount of chances we gave. What's the one guy who punched the guy with the mouth guard?
Javon.
His playoff catch in the end zone.
Javon
Wims. Yeah. It's like we gave him so many chances too. Why are we giving these people all these damn chances?
But also, if you notice the report,
coach.
Look, if you notice the report, and Pettis and Sharp are bigger receivers.
Yeah, and we need size. We don't need this small shit anymore.
We need some size. Like Daz, you You made it to NFL, man. You're a good dude.
If you were to keep Daz, it'd be for special
You said
teams.
he a good dude.
Yeah, you'd keep him for returning, but he's muffing kicks now too. So what
Hey,
the hell are
T,
we gonna keep him for?
call Daz.
He's a
tell
good
him he'll
dude.
be on the practice squad and tell him I could use him on my flag football team.
He might drop the ball in flag football though, man. Even not even touched, he'll drop the ball.
Now look, I'll try that shit though.
Yeah, speed in flag football pays off. I'll tell you that.
But
seriously, he ain't gonna be scared of getting hit.
Right, but like, I'm sorry, but I feel for Eberflus and company, because if we wake up one random Monday morning and we hear that Tajay Sharp or Austin Pettis got cut, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Because Pettis can return punts too. Pettis was on San Francisco, guys. Like Pettis got some, he got a little cachet behind him. He's not a bump. No, Austin Pettis was a top guy coming out of college. Like
these preseason games are very important for our front office. They're not going to just keep somebody because Newsom was a draft pick.
Well, but they will for N'Keal Harry because he was traded for, and they actually gave Byron Pringle money.
Yes, Pringle got money, and I think they'll keep Harris too because he's still. I mean, he can still be a lightning in a bottle because he's still got size too. He's 6'1", 6'2". And
he is, but I still think
still,
it's one of those things where he just don't get it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, sometimes you don't.
And I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because anytime we can associate first round talent in the receiver game with the Bears, I'm gonna take it.
Absolutely, you're gonna give it a chance.
I'm gonna give it a chance. But just from what I've seen, is something with Bill Belichick and having 3 quarterbacks just does not set well with me. Because Bill Belichick will take a grocery bag dude and make him a Super Bowl champion. Like, what are we doing here?
Like, you are correct.
So if they put Peterman, is he eligible to be on the practice squad?
I'm not sure.
I don't know about that.
Well, let's just say he was.
If he's not, then he's
put him on the practice squad. You think?
Well, no, you can't be. You got to designate him, but he still be able to be picked up by another team, right?
And nobody's gonna pick him up.
You said no one's gonna pick him up. So
he's gonna pick up Peter.
Not right now because everybody's got 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and nobody's lost a quarterback yet.
No.
So it's gonna be some.
I'm gonna tell you who's going. I'm gonna tell you who somebody gonna look at. Did you see what that boy in Cleveland did? That 10-13 with 182 and 2 touchdowns.
No.
His name is Jack Dobbs or Jason Dobbs.
I didn't. All I saw was all the chants going on for Deshaun Watson, who went 3 and out, and
he was 1 for 5. Like, no.
Yeah. It's his first game in 2 years. What do they expect he's going to do? Light everybody up?
I'm not even worried about him. Cleveland. But anytime in a preseason game, third string or not, you put up 10 of 13 with a $182 and 2 tutties. I got to, hey man, you might be able to play some football.
Didn't Pickens do that with Philly too? He was like 13 for 15 for 2
touchdowns. He was. And it's like, oh God, did you all? Frank, I'm gonna let you see it because you have the other side of the coin. But have y'all been hearing what George Pickens been doing?
Yeah. I heard that.
What's George Pickens been doing?
Go ahead, Jay.
Chilling.
Go ahead.
Chilling. In practice?
Chilling.
In practice?
And in the preseason, like it's like
okay. And we passed up on him. That's all we passed up on him.
Hey, let's put the cat. Let's let the cat on the back. We should have got him. We should have found.
Everybody wanted him. I'm pretty sure every fan wanted him
instead of Gordon.
No, I'm just saying find a way to move back up into the second round and get another pick. Shit.
Well, I like who we got. So far.
Well, we don't know about
Overreaction Tuesday, so I'm not overreacting. But Brisker is that dude.
No, I love Brisker, and I know Kyler Gordon is a 1. Watch Jalen Johnson. They'll be interchangeable. Kyler's a 1. He's for sure a 1.
Yeah. Kyler Cole.
Because he didn't give up, 2 years he didn't give up a touchdown? And I think Brisker's the same. He hasn't given up a touchdown in 3. Yeah. Like those, we need those guys. Like those are real guys. I just feel, man, I mean, I'm trying, fellas. I'm trying.
Well, I guess nobody wants to come in and holler at us, huh?
I don't see what Velvet is.
Well, Velvet hasn't even played yet, so we don't know.
I was looking at them training camp videos, man, and
he's got speed like a Daz Newsom. It's not comparing to that ceiling, huh?
It's a one-trick pony. It's a hell of a trick, but
yeah,
we got to show Darnell some love too.
Darnell, everybody
Wait, I don't know if you all play fantasy. I know you don't, Frank. I know you do.
No, I don't play that shit.
I don't actually. I need to start. I didn't play one.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did.
I haven't joined one yet this year.
Darnell Mooney right now, I was watching it earlier, is like number 26 as far as receivers for fantasy football. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's that low? Okay, bet. Watch this.
Dude, Darnell Mooney is going to have a freaking I think he's going to have a huge season. Like, it's just the chemistry he has with Fields, his ability to go up and get the ball. He's improved his speed to go across him. I don't see a weakness with him right now.
And I can't remember him actually dropping the ball.
I don't remember one off the top of my head either.
And I know everybody does.
Unless it was a completely bad overthrown ball. I don't remember seeing him drop a ball.
I don't. And I'm not like even being funny. Like that rapport that they have, right? And now what I didn't like, okay, let me not say I didn't like it. I was a little confused when they did the end around reverse with EQ. Did you all see that? It was like earlier. Yeah. So I didn't know if that was part of the game.
That was a one-trick pony for Velvet, I feel like, right there. And
I thought that was more of a Velvet play. You know what I mean? Not more of an EQ play. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Y'all just said it like that's his name.
Hi, I'm Velvet Jones.
That is his name on this show. I'm sorry, it is. But,
So,
I'll tell you, if you're talking fantasy football, though, you're going to see Darnell Mooney there in the 3rd or 4th round. You'd be stupid if you're not going to go after him.
That's what I'm saying, Frank.
Stupid. Like that guy, he's going to have a 1,000-yard receiving year. Easily.
He can't be number 2 or something. He had 1,000 yards in spite of that terrible offense last year. He probably should have had way more. You cannot tell me that right now. So let me be real clear. I'm not saying he's Devontae Adams at all.
You can't compare that.
But watch Getsy run plays for him like he is Devontae.
He is Devontae. Agreed. Agreed.
Watch.
And one other person we're going to throw out too.
Mm-hmm.
Braxton Jones, I thought, other than one play.
And that was a hard one because dude jabbed him hard to the inside and came back up. That was like a crossover. I'm not even going to blame him that.
He had a freaking, like he was pancaking people, throwing them on the ground. One other one, not to just jump right off of Braxton Jones, but Jenkins had a great game. And now, just to flip it over, somebody's on the first team right now at practice this morning.
Hey,
let's bring in Coach. I know he got a lot to say. He always got a lot to say.
Yeah, he's never too quiet. That's for sure. There he is.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Flip your screen. There you go. There you go. Yep. What's up, bro?
Nice.
What's going on, fellas?
You look like you in front of a china cabinet.
It's my liquor
trophy case.
It's my liquor cat, all my alcohol.
Hey, hold on, man. You ain't invited us over? Wait a minute.
Damn. You look like
we know where the next live event is going to be.
You know how to barbecue? Wait a minute, bro.
I mean, I do a little something occasionally. The pandemic did something to me. The pandemic and my
Silky. Sorry, hold on. Silky's on, y'all. Hey,
I see Silky.
My man, Silk.
Silky.
Get up in here, Silk.
Silk, jump in.
Silk.
I can kind of toast you.
What do you got?
What you got?
I'm just going off with the crown.
I'm not drinking. This is a new bottle I picked up a couple weeks ago. But
like that on a special occasion, man. Bears' first victory.
Yeah, my thing about that. I saw it in the liquor store by my job. But my liquor side story, my liquor cabinet has grown mostly because of the pandemic and some legal issues that I had occurred before the pandemic started. So
Yeah, no reason. Hey, we'll drink when we can. That's it. That's all we got to say about that.
right. It's good seeing you, fellas. Good being on. It's been a minute.
Been a
Good
long
seeing you too, Coach Chef.
Yo.
We know you got a lot to say, man.
Whew.
Wait, before you chime on, let's kick off where we just literally started. What did you think about Braxton Jones? True assessment.
Beast.
My true assessment is it's a reason why they put him at left tackle before.
That early.
And this is before actual camp started. They moved him to the starting. And going back and looking at some more film, I mean, he was we drafted 3 linemen, 4. Four. We drafted 4 linemen. He was the first of the 4. You can see the other ones are pushing inside. So the kid from San Diego State, they pushed him to guard. Kramer was
Zach Miller.
They pushed him in the guard. They pushed the kid from Southern to right guard. So I actually like to seeing them all together with that second/third unit in the second half of guard, center guard, and seeing them work together was actually pretty something. Unfortunately, I believe Kramer's out for the year now. But seeing Braxton at left tackle, I only really saw him get beat once. But we might have some. We might have some. It's a reason. I don't think this regime is doing things just for the sake of doing it. If he didn't have it, he wouldn't be a left tackle. And to put him at left tackle, it says a lot.
That's a statement.
And if you look at some things about him, I was trying to explain to my lady. Most of you know who she is. That week, if you try to explain where he came from, the team he played for in college, did not being successful in his 3 years. 3 years, so he came out early. He went to a school where they weren't successful as a team, and he still was a first team All FCS, which means that he stood out significantly, and it meant something for him to stand out. And he's standing out in pro practices. It's impactful. I think that if things align right with this kid, he's our future left tackle for the next 8 years minimum.
So that tells me 2 things. That tells me, 1, he was probably misrated coming out of high school.
Of course. He's from Utah.
That says it right there.
He probably was an undersized kid, probably played at a really small program that wasn't known for football. It happens all the time. Even in today's technology, kids get unsighted all the time, even though you have Utah State and you have you have Utah and you have you have Utah State too. You have BYU.
Right in your backyard.
Right, and he only got 1 offer coming out. Shout out to our guy who you all had on about a month ago, who runs the Chat Sports Chicago Bears, Graham.
Harrison Graham. Yeah,
Harrison Graham, right?
Bears
now. He did a breakdown about him some time ago. So having different breakdowns from different people was really helpful, understanding where the kid came from. But hey, man, if you have talent, they're gonna find you. If they don't find you in college, they're gonna find you in the pros, et cetera, et cetera. So this guy, I think he's not gonna let that job go. I don't think no one's gonna beat him out for the job. Even when they signed Riley Reef, they moved Riley Reef to the right side.
Yeah,
but see, remember when they signed Riley Reef at first, people were like, he gonna be the left tackle. I'm like, he ain't not a left tackle. Larry Borum was the slated left tackle right after the whole little Tevin Jenkins thing, right?
Exactly.
But when Braxton showed us something in practice, like, wait a minute, big body.
Huge,
strong.
He can move.
Long arms. He stands up and his arms is in the ground when other people are crouched. Prototypical Orlando Pace-ish, body-wise. I'm not talking about the talent yet.
He's not as big. Orlando was a freak to be 320 plus.
Well, that's what Braxton is. 6'5", 320, 6'5", 320.
Orlando was big. I think really he's 330 like Orlando, because Orlando was a legit 330.
Yeah,
he's a large human.
He was low 300s. I do know.
I looked that up because I thought he may have lost some weight, but I thought coming out of Utah,
Orlando Pace was a large human being. Even when he signed with the Bears late in his career, I remember going to that Bears camp in Bourbonnais that year. That man is a large human.
And he scratches his knees,
like almost Larry Allen large. But about the line, I really liked how they broke the line down. I like seeing Tevin out there being aggressive. I'm catching up with you guys talking earlier about the skill positions.
Yes.
I know it's Overreaction Tuesday. So, of course, I have some things. There are a lot of people chime in on Herbert early dropping the passes. That was unfortunate. It's still preseason, still work. I mean, he hasn't shown the consistency of dropping passes. JB, you said he dropped a couple passes last year. I would say I looked at the stats. Even if he had 2 drops, I mean, he had 16 targets, 14 receptions.
Yeah, he
I mean,
didn't
that
have a
was the
lot. It
stats.
was very limited, but it was more of those things where it was like the time that he dropped the ball.
Timing is very important sometimes.
Yes,
timing is very important. But with the lineman, I really like seeing the line work, except for the kid that they had at left tackle who hadn't played ball in 2 years, so maybe he's just rusty.
Yeah, he got
that was in the third quarter.
Yeah. That was interesting. I'm surprised I didn't see. I guess since they've got Tevin slotted as of the game, they had him slotted at right tackle. Now, apparently, he's been slotted at right guard, which I've always said you got to have the 5 best linemen regardless of position. Anyway. So
Braxton Jones, by the way, he was 6'5", 310.
Okay, I knew he was 6'5".
He was low 300s, but yeah, he was
6'5". Yeah.
I knew there was someone else that I wanted to mention. Michael Schofield. When
he's out. He's out.
No,
he's running with second team.
He played in the preseason.
Yeah, he played. He started.
He got moved out the way. And
the first sack in the first 2 series with Justin. Yeah. He got manhandled. I mean, he was manhandled by a guy who is all.
It was Chris Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on now.
And again, it's overreaction.
Christian Jones used to play with us,
and he didn't play that much.
No.
It's not Christian.
No.
Christian Jones is the linebacker.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Jones is the All-Pro D tackle.
John Jones's brother.
Yes, he's the matter of fact. Isn't he the 3rd-rated D tackle in the NFL right now, behind Aaron Donald and in Buffalo?
Something like that. But his production. I mean, he's a consistent guy. Schofield is a journeyman guard, so we were expecting him to give a guy like Mustafa a run at right guard.
In there too.
He's playing center. Remember, he had to play center because Lucas Patrick was injured, and then now you have Kramer, who just went out.
That just kept Mustafa's job, I feel like.
Well,
I feel because Mustafa has center experience. That's why I feel.
No, I thought Kramer started.
No. He didn't start. It's Mustafa.
Kramer messed up his stuff like 2 days before the game, and he's out.
No, but Kramer played. No, he got the. Well, they got him as a Liz Frank, but he played the second half.
He played. I thought
he played the second half. The second line team. It was from right to left. It was Tevin. It was Tyron. The kid from Southern. The kid from Southern was at right guard. Then you had Kramer at center. Then the left guard was the kid Zach from San Diego State, Zach Miller. Then the left tackle was Borum was getting some run, but the guy they had played most of the second half was the young man who hadn't played in a couple of years, who got beat on a really bad play that got the kid from Northwestern sacked.
Number 76?
Yeah. No, because 76 is Tevin. Tevin's 76. He was 72.
72, okay. I'm about to say he was 70-something. I know exactly the play you're talking about, too.
Borum ran with both teams. Borum ran with first team as a right tackle, and then he ran with second team as a left tackle. So that also goes to his versatility, being that swing tackle if he's not going to start. And the great thing about him is that I think he still can be an actual consistent starter at the league. He's still only a rookie. Second year player, 5th year pick. He played serviceable last year at right tackle. So another year of development in this current zone system. And next year, we're not going to have a guy like Riley Reef. You can see if the line projects and you get Tevin at guard, man, this is what your line is looking at next year. You're looking at a full line, a full offseason, a full season, and you're looking at left to right. Left to right, it'll be Jones from Southern Utah. You're looking at Whitehair. You're looking at Lewis Patrick. You're looking at Tevin Jenkins, and you're looking at Borum. And they're all going to get run this year because, the swing guard and swing tackle are going to get plays, obviously. And they're young, so they're going to get some matches in. And if they continue, minus injuries and stuff, man, even with Riley Reef, if he plugs in at that right tackle, man, with Borum as that swing tackle.
You got depth, too.
Yeah, that's the key is having depth. We're losing some because they just cut the quote unquote fourth string center. They cut him like a day or two after the game, and then Kramer just went down with he's going to be on IR. So now you only have one center on the roster,
I think
and that's Mustafa.
Well,
So
how long is Lucas Patrick out? Because I heard he's supposed to be back for the first game.
That's the plan. His first game, from what I've heard and from different outlets.
That's only 3 weeks away.
I mean, that whole God willing, if things run perfectly, yeah. So I enjoyed watching the preseason game just because I view it a little differently. Like I watch it as a fan, but also I replay. It takes me 45 minutes for me to play a game because I DVR it. I work Saturday. So it took me extra 45 minutes to watch it because I wanted to go back and I really focused on the D-line, offensive line, and D-line. I love Tonga. I've always loved that guy playing that one technique. That kid is going to be something else because you're going to have to double team him and he don't move.
And wait, Chef, what did you just say? He's playing the what?
One technique.
Would you please explain 1, 3, and 5 are totally different?
It is. It is. I mean, because last year in the 3-4, he was rotating at the 1/0, right. But having that 3 technique who can move, he's still kind of doing a similar job, but with another year of him growing as far as he's already a big kid, his strength, and then I believe he played the 1 in college, so it's more of a natural position. They're similar playing the 1. I mean, you're playing the shade when you're playing in the 3-4 anyway, so he's not playing that much different.
Right. But the 4-3, you take on more of the double teams.
Exactly. So love him. I love the rotation with the DNs. Man, the kid from Robinson, the Robinson kid I was talking about earlier. Yeah. I liked him. I like him flashing. You talk about a kid who came in as a quarterback, then a receiver, then went to DN. Like that's athleticism at its finest. It's pure athleticism at its finest. Guy who can have played multiple positions in high school, college, and now the pros, and got drafted and is flashing. Like of course he's going to get second team, but you play who you play against. If you flash, you flash.
We might be able to throw him at quarterback. Seeing him behind the center.
And also, so you got the kid from Wisconsin, Sanborn, who played awesome on special teams. I think that's really his niche for the first year. Is going to be a lot of special teams.
Absolutely.
If they sign Roquan, that kid's not going to play linebacker. But I think the young man they signed from the USFL, that kid is also really good.
But I heard he's like on the bubble though.
Really? Oh, I thought he played pretty well. Watching him going back, he flashed quite a bit. They played him.
He did, yeah, he is because with the expansion of Roquan,
everything's
going to shift over because everybody thinks Roquan, not everybody, but
he's going to play the weak side. And he's playing the weak side. He's playing well.
He's playing well. Nicholas Morrow is going to be your middle.
Right.
Like for anybody that don't know football, they didn't bring him from the Raiders to play strong side.
Right. Yeah.
That would just be stupid.
Absolutely.
That would just be stupid. So you got to have a bigger, more aggressive kid. That can really cover on that strong side. And that's where I said I don't know if Sanborn is like a regular. Is he that Urlacher-esque middle linebacker, or is he?
He's not as athletic.
Good preseason game.
I think he's a combo of Hillemeyer and Wasowski. I think he's more athletic, slightly. Although it's weird because guys who are big, Nick Kozowski,
from Notre Dame, yeah.
No, that kid went to he was from West Virginia. We drafted him from West Virginia.
You got talking about the Notre Dame kid?
No, the guy who everyone loved, but they couldn't re-sign him. They kept 3 years ago. They kept they let him go to the Raiders, and he started starting for the Raiders. But that kid was a former linebacker from West Virginia.
He was a backup.
Yeah, he was a backup. But he got the start when I can't think of anyone's name. Our former middle linebacker who was aging, who we got from Denver. I can't name anybody right now. This is two years ago.
That we got from
Denver. We just ran a 3-4, fellas. We had 2 middle linebackers when they were healthy. We were transitioning. It was Roquan and
Alex Ogletree.
No, he was. We've all forgotten his name already.
Danny Trevathan.
Trevathan, thank you. Danny Trevathan. Remember we signed the fans, we signed Danny Trevathan.
No, he wasn't in the 4-3. Trevathan wasn't in the 4-3.
I said the 3-4. He was in the 3-4. We got Trevathan. Before we signed Ogletree, we had Nick Kozowski. That kid was from West Virginia.
He went to Oakland. He went to Oakland. Didn't he?
He went to Oakland.
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think you're saying his name wrong. It's like
I am. I'm saying his name wrong. I'm saying his name wrong.
Kwiatkowski.
Okay, I'm about to say I don't know who Swazowski is.
Remember, he was playing. He was our backup middle linebacker. I think Sanborn is more instinctful and slightly better in coverage. Nick came from West Virginia. That's the school he was drafted out of.
Gotcha.
Sanborn, I think his niche this year. I think honestly, unless we don't sign Roquan or we trade him, or of course they trade him, that kid's going to play special teams. That to me, that's the fact of the matter.
He's got speed. He's smart. He can play special teams.
So it's a development. It's NFL, so it's the development game, and him getting those reps, those second team, third team reps, is obviously key because he is instinctful. His teammate was just across the other side, the other linebacker that played at Wisconsin, who actually got drafted. The Chiefs had. I don't know that kid's name, but they kept talking about him, how they both were starting linebackers for Wisconsin last year. The Chiefs drafted.
Let's not say if. We're signing Roquan back. Who's taking that wheel? Who's taking that Sam linebacker?
Oh, it's the other guy they signed. Lord, I can't think of anyone's name. I'm drawing a blank forever and ever. Hold on, I got a draft book. Maybe it'll ring a bell.
Because right now it's like 3 different people that we saw at that position in the first half. Not even the first series, the first half.
So that linebacker,
Sam linebacker.
What is that linebacker's name? Oh no, they're not show it. So it's Nick Morrow playing the middle, playing Mike. It's the weak side. It'll be Roquan. Who's the other linebacker? I cannot. Because he played, but of course we're going to be in a lot of nickel. It's the NFL nowadays. Everybody plays. I cannot find the name. Because I'm looking at a fantasy football draft book, so they're not going to show defense. I can't find it. There was another linebacker they signed. It was those were the projected 3 starters. I can't think of his name to save my life. He was another signee. He wasn't a rookie. He was another veteran we signed.
57.
What about Javon White? I think was signed, wasn't it? Javon White.
But remember, at training camp, they don't have their names on the back of their jerseys. But you saw a 44, you saw a 57. Some dude had a 90s, but I don't know.
Joe Thomas is the other running back around. Just Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas.
Oh, the linebacker?
Yeah, he's the other linebacker listed as a starter as of right now on the depth chart.
Okay.
What number is he, right?
I don't know. It's just got a name on it. Let me see if I can find a number.
Because I remember the numbers because I was like,
I would check, but I just got home maybe about 40 minutes ago.
44. He's wearing
school, so I got a little man.
I told you, I said, "Oh, hey, little man."
Oh, little dude.
So,
remember I said 44, Frank. That's why
Showtime.
Running around 44.
Okay, so those are the projected guys. I know JB, you were talking about the D linemen like Kadeem Muhammad playing.
I like Kadeem.
I do too.
Why don't they let him start?
I had to remember who he was because there were 2 Muhammads, last name Muhammad guys who were DNs who got drafted in the past 5 drafts. Do anyone remember the young man that the Jets drafted really high maybe about 5 years ago? I get him confused with him. I know Al-Qadim Muhammad's from Miami. The other young man was drafted higher.
Miami, but that guy wasn't he a D tackle?
I think he was a 3 technique.
Yeah.
So I get those confused. I'm like, man, this seems like a similar guy. I'm like, he doesn't play in. He's a 3. And then
was it Muhammad Wilkerson?
Yeah, that's who it was, Muhammad Wilkerson. I think that I don't even know if that guy's in the league anymore, but he was a higher draft pick. Al-Qadim played at the U. He was a 3rd or 4th round pick. I do like him as a rotational guy, along with we have I think everyone kind of flashed on the D line, especially those edge rushers. Everyone flashed. You had Gibson flashed. All of those guys flashed. I think we're going to be better than people expect, especially maybe not winning games. It won't show up in like wins and losses, but it'll show as progression of what the team is developing. This is not – I hate when people say this is a trash year. We're going to have a top 5 pick of Roquan. Like, so much has to go wrong for this team, the way that the coaching staff and the GM has set it up. so much has to go wrong. Like, I think the players are all buying in. That's the thing that everyone said is we're buying into this system. They're going to play hard. No different. I'm not trying to compare, but no different than the team last year for the Lions. The Lions were competitive in almost all their games. As much as we want to make fun of the Lions, they played for that coaching staff.
They played hard.
Biting knees and everything. We made everyone in the media, even we made fun of we're going to bite their kneecaps. But those guys played for Dan Campbell. So,
and that's why I say we can't overlook them.
Oh, absolutely not. So I think it's going to be the same, but I think we have slightly more defensive talent than they do.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, I think they're receivers.
They get their number one. What is his name?
You talking about the St. Brown? Oh no, you talking about DB
from Ohio State, Jeff Okudah. They get him back.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because he got hurt. He got hurt.
So their defense will be a little bit more formidable. And remember, they also got Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. So I mean, were you at the game, T-Nick?
No.
Huh?
Did you go to that game? Were you at the game on Saturday?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought big man. I thought you had season tickets, big dog. I thought you was,
I'll go to preseason game.
Oh, my bad. Pinky up. I'm sorry.
I'll go to preseason.
He'll go to preseason games.
No.
Come on,
well, next time, bless us peasants with them preseason tickets.
I'm sorry. My oldest, is feeling a little gun shy.
In the league on the Dolphins, but he'd be lucky if they even make the team for whatever.
Just waiting to say hi.
Yeah.
All right, that's my oldest. All right, now back out. He's feeling a little jealous that the baby boy got a little airtime. But I really but I'm not gonna lie. This defense is really predicated on health. Like, I know we were talking about guys who were getting rotation and guys who didn't look good. Like, you got brought up Lamar Jackson. I think he only got to start because we had 21 guys out with injury. They just cut. They've already cut the kid that actually was splitting time of number 87, John Allen or something like that. They cut him. He's like the fourth. Come on now, your top three tight ends were out with injury. He was like the fourth. It was two tight ends that played 87 and 47. 87, they just cut him. But those guys are only playing because our three tight ends were out. Then we have all these DBs out. We have all these receivers out. I know you all were saying things about Daz Newsome, which I agree. I think he's more quick than fast. He didn't do himself any justice in the first half with the bobble and with the drop on the short route. He did redeem himself with a touchdown.
He bobbled that touchdown though.
Hey man, you catch the ball. You catch the ball, man.
That was
good route, good setup, good play.
He had to go far.
The route was fabulous. He can run routes.
Tajay Sharp, I don't know if you pulled the tag from earlier. Tajay Sharp to me is a guy he's a journeyman receiver. He's put up numbers in the league. He's put up like consistent number 3 numbers. And if he stays healthy, I thought he was gonna make the team anyway. So really, your top.
But that's the only reason he didn't stick with Atlanta, because remember he actually has some.
He got hurt,
and he got hurt again.
Exactly. So if you talking about from the receiver group, you talking about Mooney, number 1. Your number 2 is Pringle, who's out. He's got the quad. Your number 3 now. Your number 3, you're buying between Bayless and your the St. Brown. That's your 3-4. Your 3-4.
Got to be number 2 though, because he's got some rapport with Justin.
Well, did you see him flash in the game on Saturday?
I'm only off of practice talk. They say Justin loves having him to his right.
Somebody just texted me. Joe Thomas is playing. You were right. Joe Thomas is playing the strong side. Somebody just tagged me in a text message. Appreciate whoever. Actually, that was my cousin's husband. He just texted me and said it was Joe Thomas playing the strong side. So
your cousin, thank you. Chime in.
Appreciate it. So those are your 4. Then now you're like the modern, even with the passing game the way it is, you're only going to keep at max 7, and that's if they're special teams guys. So the guy we got from the Rams, he hasn't flashed yet. He's supposed to be a returner. We didn't see him at all. We saw Daz. Exactly. We saw Daz. We saw Tajay Sharp, Daz. We saw number 6.
Isaiah Coulter. You saw Isaiah Coulter.
So those guys.
Yeah, I like Coulter was decent.
Exactly. So it's really, and then you got Pettis still, right? So you're really bargaining for those last receiver spots. What, 5, 6, maybe 7?
If you say 6, I say carry 6. If it carries over to 7, because like I was saying earlier, you have a position in Blasen's game that we normally do not keep.
You talking about the fullback?
We normally do not keep that position on the roster. So I was trying to maneuver which one So obviously we got to get rid of one or two DBs. We also got to get, like you just said, one of the tight ends. Although I thought that particular tight end was
no, he was that's a camp body. This is not the old regime. They're not about to keep 7 tight ends.
Oh, no. I wasn't saying that. I was just looking at. See, when I look at
that would be
certain
an
things,
regime move right there for sure.
Right.
what was my man's name that Justin had that great rapport with?
You talking about the kid from Notre Dame? I'm sorry. The kid from Harvard, the converted receiver.
Oh yeah.
But remember, he got hurt. He got hurt in Jasper Horsted got hurt. He got hurt months ago. He got hurt like right after the draft, and I think I want to say I could be wrong. I want to say they did one of those, what do they call it? Injury settlements. That's what I want to say. I think they released him. Then they signed him back because he cleared waivers, and then he got hurt. So someone might have to look up the Horsted thing, but it's a development thing because you got Oshag Hennessy. You got Oshag Hennessy. You got Cole, my boy Cole Kmet, who I think is going to have a bigger year this year. I think he's, I know we have projected him to be one of the, where it's people, his numbers weren't great because he didn't score any touchdowns, but that guy gives you between 650 and just under 800 yards. I think that's a successful year where you just want him to score more touchdowns. I mean, he doubled his.
To be a presence in the red zone.
See, well, I mean, that
wasn't in the game.
That's coaching staff. That's coaching staff. That's the front.
But too, what I noticed is, okay, he does need to tighten up his hands. That's no secret. He needs to shore up his hands. But what I did notice is he still runs very mechanical, like a robot. Like he's very stiff.
Well, they said the same thing about Gronk. I'm not comparing him. I
don't understand about Gronk, but I'll let you have that one.
After the catch, Gronk looked much more athletic than he did prior to catching the ball. You can go watch some Gronk tape. He looks really, because he's a freak of nature, 6'5", 6', 265. But after the catch, he looks smooth, like a old school Cadillac.
And I give you that, but I look at it like this: when you have a player that your star quarterback has rapport with, forget names, forget salary. Keep that guy because that's the guy that's going to make sure that your quarterback is comfortable.
And I think Cole is going. I mean, Cole has been brought up quite a lot in conversations when they have those, those open conferences about the rapport he's had. He's the starting tight end, so obviously he's going to get a lot of.
I think.
My phone might cut off. I thought my phone was charging.
Plug it in.
If it does, sorry, fellas. Oh no, it's not working.
User error.
I get it. I gotta move the baby. Everything's about to go haywire. I thought my phone was charging. I was wrong.
Overreaction Tuesday. This is all an overreaction, right? Thursday we have Thursday. We're gonna see if anything is consistent when we play Seattle Thursday, right?
Is Monty gonna play?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I didn't hear about him in camp, so
he's not hurt.
Well, I don't know why it'll be then, or if they. I mean, you want him to get some reps.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see this week's because last week they had the list of everybody that didn't practice.
Yeah,
it was a lot of people, but then you had all the people who didn't suit up for the game. Monty was not on the non-practice list. He just didn't play in the game. So why? Is it because they don't need to see him, and they just feel that he's going to get a major load?
I mean, you want him to get any game action.
I want him to get some contact just to get that feel of being hit. But
at the same time, you are getting contact in these training camps. This is
but not like live. Not like
this is
live
not Denny's training camp.
And the Bears do not. They don't do that combination practice like a lot of teams do. They haven't had any joint practices, which you can sneak some hits in.
It's certainly going to be interesting to see who's going to be consistent on Thursday. So, moving off of the Bears and into this short conversation about the 2 women professional teams that are in the playoffs, are they getting enough love? They're not really getting that much love, man. We should be talking about that. The Sky in the playoffs again. And then you got the professional women's football team. Full transparency. I used to be a male chauvinist, and I didn't give a fuck about women's football. Full transparency. But now that shit is entertaining. That shit is fun as hell. I love watching that.
Girls bust their ass, man.
Yes, they do.
There's no money complaining when it comes down to something like that. They're truly playing for the love of the game.
Yes.
Well, they don't get paid, so shit.
It's some girls out there that play way better than dudes and will fuck dudes up.
Yeah, I guarantee you they're probably better tacklers than Eddie Jackson.
Oh. So I'll say this because I know I'm very close to and familiar with a lot of the players and the coaching staff on the Chicago Blitz. Shout out to Sid Lewis. Shout out to G-Ball, Greg Owens. Shout out to a couple of the ladies that I know that have been playing since remember a long time ago, I'm dating myself. It used to be called the Lingerie Football League, and it was on MTV2. It was on MTV2.
Talking about the Legends League, man.
Then it has transitioned into something else. But like they play real football, like they be out there hitting and shit. You know,
They
like
talking a lot of shit too, man.
The quality has consistently gone up.
You know, Tamika Robinson, like them girls, Deanna Hightower, like they be out there hitting Emma, who has been on Sherry's show. She said what she said. Like it's some girls out there that's really, you know, knocking some heads back. D.I., we know a lot of them from our flag football days.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
These women are really.
Hey, I've been anytime I talk about the co-ed scene, man, I tell people all the time, man. A2, formerly all the iterations before A2, is the most competitive flag football league I played in. I know there's an up north and all men's league, and I get it. If I'm talking about well-rounded from top to bottom, A2 has the most competitive flag community in the area by far.
Shout out Joey.
Shout out Joey. And I excluding the up north men's league, because I'm sorry, I'm not driving that far to play no flag football. But I played in quite a few men's leagues and co-ed leagues, and I played in some men's leagues that are not as competitive as the co-ed league. So
absolutely.
But yeah, a lot of athletes. I mean, we got we had one of our young ladies who played in the A2 has been playing in all the iterations of all the flag for the past 10 years. I think maybe played with you JB. Nadia, she plays on the
I was
US
just
team.
about to shout her out. She just did like the world champions.
Right, exactly.
The world championship. And I was just about to shout her out. Shout out to Nadia Bibbs because like they're doing big teams. She literally just played for our country.
Right.
Literally, y'all. She played for our country. Women in football is.
I'm thinking that we should go ahead and wrap this one up. And Diab, you might as well kick off the shout out, man.
Oh well, I just want to appreciate you all having me on. I know I'm a part of the Chicago Clubhouse Network, and we got some things working with T-Nick and some opportunities coming up. Also, want to give a shout out to Coach K. Some of y'all know her as Coco. She contributes on the She Said What She Said podcast. My head coach. She brought me onto the staff of DuSable High School, and without giving too much away, this is going to be, for personally, the most challenging coaching job I've ever had. So shout out to her. Shout out to the AD of DuSable, giving me a shot at having coached in about 8 years now, since 2013 at Kenwood. Kenwood has become a whole nother thing since the last time I coached. Their program has taken off.
Shout out to Billy and CQ.
Man, like, I ain't gonna lie, I drove by Kenwood the other day, and I was just like, we didn't have these type of facilities when I was there.
Hey, look, y'all had workouts.
Man, they was deep. We only had 3-4 coaches. My boy DJ was out there, was head coach. We had them winning, but didn't make the playoffs. But man, we ain't had about 50, 60, 70 kids. It looked like they had about 70 kids out there when I drove by the other day. But shout out to Coco. Shout out to T-Nick for having me on. Shout out to you, Frank, JB. Appreciate y'all having me on. Hopefully there's more to come from me from this network, and we can give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Shout out from Lil Man.
Thank. Happy to see you on here, Chef. Always happy to see you. Happy to the baby. How's the baby doing?
Good.
Good sleeper?
My woman knows about his inability to sleep. She's the one here on day in, day out basis more than I am because I'm
He looked like
in at the house.
Too, man. He looked like.
You said that real Neanderthal, like my woman.
My lady, my woman, my significant other.
Other than that, always fun to be on. Always fun to be on Tuesdays. T-Nick, JB, Foulmouth. I might be able to watch this at work because Foulmouth wasn't on, so that's a plus thing.
Oh, we can actually watch this one, Frank.
I guarantee you, I'm going to be able to watch this tomorrow. Watch. All the people on the chat. Brandon chimed in. The mom of the Clubhouse podcast. Always love having her on. Other than that, everyone else on there, I'm hoping you're trying it. Silky chimed in. Other than that, hey, go Bears, right? Fuck.
Go Bears. Hey, B, it's on you.
So just shout out to you fellas. D.R. personal shout out to you. Always love you, bro. You done caught a couple of long touchdowns from me. You know what you're talking about. You know how we do.
Put a little work in. Trying to teach these boys something that do sabo.
You did a little work, you know. Just hey, shout out to those that's in the chat that always constantly support us. Mom, Brian, everybody else that chimed in. Hey, Silky D chimed in, y'all. If y'all don't know who that is Chicago Bear great. Dennis McKinnon, Super Bowl champion with the 85 Bears. Right here watching the Clubhouse chiming in. Shout out to that brother. Can't wait for him to come back on. Because if he come back on, get your popcorn. Get your popcorn and Filthy come back on because he going to tell you the real. And I love it. Every time he come on, I can't wait. Hopefully we'll have him in studio next time. No, don't need one.
No, we don't filter here. Shit.
Tell the truth, slam the devil.
One of my best and most favorite Bears receivers ever. Shout out to Skip, man. Let's get in touch. Let's get in tune. Man, one slight thing that and this is a little somber.
That's all right, Spank.
I just literally want to shout out the city of Chicago right now because over this past weekend there was a lot going on, a lot of violence, a lot of things that just went left. Hey y'all, we are the third largest market in the world, but we are the greatest fan base in the world. Let's keep it sports, all love, and let's keep it to the next day. Nobody should lose their life over no foolishness.
I agree, man. And it's interesting that you said that too, because it is amazing how much crime goes down when you got a winning sporting goods or winning sports team.
You know, and it's
done
just,
a lot.
You know, I just had to say that because sometimes we get caught up in our day-to-day lives and what have you, but certain things on TikTok, YouTube, whatever have you, and some of these videos are just so disturbing, man. It hurts my stomach. That the greatest city, in my opinion, one of the greatest cities in the world.
Yeah, fuck New York.
I'm sorry. I love my city.
That was so aggressive.
Damn.
Who needs foul mouth Chris when you got a fuck New York from Frank?
Hey, look, I don't care about New York either. You know, like, hey,
you need a hug, Frank?
Well, I mean, we need you foul mouth, but I didn't really expect Frank to drop the fuck New York.
Sometimes
I didn't violate no FTC regulations, so we good. But that's all I got, man. Let's just continue to keep our light bright, Chicago. You know, so love. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna bring up the rear pause.
No pause. No pause.
But definitely shout out to the chat. Everybody that was in the chat contributed. Definitely shout out Coach Chef Diab, who is part of the network. Definitely, and we will see more of him probably before each Bears game, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Surprise!
Probably before each Bears game.
That would be considered a teaser.
The teaser show. Teaser with the chef.
So I did have some family in the chat. They said they shouted me out. I don't know who it was, but I did have some blood family in the chat. So
King Mafioso.
Yeah, King Mafioso. I don't know who the hell that is, but shout out to you. Shout out.
Hey, what is that Bob the Builder stuff I hear in the background? Somebody doing some redecorating or something?
I don't know, but somebody about to get put on mute.
It ain't me.
It's making too much goddamn noise. You still watch this show, Frank?
It ain't me. I'm good. It's quiet up in this shit.
But yeah, shout out to whoever that was, King Mafioso, whoever it was. Like I said before, all the groups, all the individuals who support this podcast, subscribe, share, tell all your friends, follow, join, whatever the fuck it is, do it. Help us build up this podcast, because I tell you what, we got some shit coming up. We got a lot of good stuff coming up, and you definitely want to be part of that. You want to see what the chef is cooking and what the Clubhouse podcast is gonna do. You want to be part of that. You want to see it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I gotta say about
shout out to you guys. Shout out to Frank the Tank and JB the Stat Man. Appreciate y'all, man. Like I always said, this wouldn't even be a podcast without y'all. Don't nobody want to hear me talk for 2 hours. And Foulmouth C, appreciate you too, bro. You're a lurker right now. I don't know why you ain't jumped in. You might as well.
Not gonna lie, I miss not going back and forth with him too.
You might as well jump in, Chris, but you're a lurker right now, man. But it's all right. And for everybody else that did not chat or did not say anything, but you stayed here, you are officially a lurker too. But that's okay. We appreciate all y'all. You watched.
We love the lurkers.
We love them. We love you. Haters too.
Love.
Yeah, we're no Detroit hater today. What happened?
Yeah, we didn't see our main hater from Detroit. I forgot his fucking name. What is his name?
That's probably Sherry on a different freaking thing, just giving it shit. Sherry just made a new username just to give us shit.
Speaking of Sherry, she is going to have a special podcast on Thursday with several members of the Chicago Blitz. That's that professional football team that's in the playoffs for y'all that did not know.
Yeah, no other Chicago teams in those playoffs right now.
So you might want to tune in on Thursday.
The Sky?
That's what I meant. Sky and the Blitz. That is it. Sky and the Blitz.
Yeah, the Sky is also in the playoffs again.
They expected to be there though.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal team. They got a good nucleus there. Including a couple old folks.
Parker, Vandersloot. Y'all want to come on, come chop it up with us?
Who? Did you just name some people from the Sky? Oh, okay, yeah. Come chop it up with us, as if they listening. Well, maybe someone that knows you is listening. So, yeah, okay. Who else did I want to shout out? Moore's Beer. They was just in the news.
Can we get them on the show for like a quick 20 minutes?
We should get them on.
Because I want to talk to Jamal and them.
T-Nick, have you had the new? I'm sure you've had the new, the green. What's the green? Yeah, I like that.
I have nothing out by me, man.
Where did you get it from? I've been looking for like a month.
Bro, I live in Park Forest. I go to Matt's and Liquors, bro. It's right here.
I got a Breeze right down the street. They don't even have it.
Hey, look, man,
wait.
Can you grab a 4-pack for me and I'll meet you out there this weekend?
Well, I'm in the city every day. I'm gonna do Sabo every day until 5 this week because school doesn't start till next week.
Hey, look, I will meet you wherever and pay you double. Just get it from me.
No problem. Frank, are you out up north or out west?
I'm more north. I'm in Wheaton.
Yeah, they don't have that.
Ooh, yeah, they not gonna have that.
Ain't shit out
They
here.
don't
Man.
have that shit.
Moors
The
out here.
Benny's out the Benny's out in Orland has Moors now.
Orland?
Oh, really?
Next
Yeah.
time I go visit my dad, maybe I'll stop at Benny's out there.
The supply is also demographically charged. So North
know
is
that.
not gonna have shit.
Not in Wheaton. Not in Wheaton.
No, I
That's all right.
I got Bud Light.
Tilly's. I want to shout out Tilly's.
I want some chicken too.
Tilly's definitely shows a lot of love.
I guess you're not going to Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, fuck Taco Tuesday, man. I never make it, man. I never make Taco Tuesday.
The truth comes out. You never make
jumped
it.
on my New York, and now you're all fucked with Taco
Fuck
Tuesday.
it. I
Man,
just
I think you're gonna do a
gave
live
up
burger
on that
Taco
shit.
Tuesday.
Well, I mean,
I
I
wanna do a
definitely
Taco
ain't gonna
Tuesday
make
live,
it tonight because I'm in Indy. Yeah, that's too long of a drive for me. Waste up
Taco
all my
Tuesday, we
good
might be
gas.
having to take a few extra breaks to hit that bathroom up on
We
Taco
just got to hit Sir and be like, hey, man, we need to do an in-house show on Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Hey, we need to get Sir back on here. That's who we need to get back.
Can we get that chicken joint to do something?
Speaking of people that are going to be on the podcast, I'm not going to spill all the beans, but I will spill the beans regarding next week.
I'm excited for that one, man.
Kyler Gordon's mother,
Eva Marie
Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Eva Marie Gordon will be on the podcast.
To hear his whole life story, man.
And, she's going to pretty much talk about being a football mom.
And keeping her son active in as many activities. This whole segmenting your kid to one activity. Get your children, stop letting them only do one sport. Let them do as much as they can. Everything until they find their love. This whole specialization world we live in is...
Yes, let your kids do whatever the hell they want.
That you can afford, obviously.
What do you say to that when it comes down to high school, though, Chef? You want multiple in high school?
When you get that, you gotta let the kid decide. If the kid wants to play 3-4 sports in high school, let him.
Well, I decided to play an extra sport and it tore my ACL. And
I mean, come on, stuff happens, man. My mother wanted my brother to stay away from football because of injury. Although I didn't get hurt in football, and my brother, all his injuries came in baseball. He broke his orbital bone. He tore his shoulder. He ripped a ligament in his hip. All his injuries came from baseball. So you can get hurt doing anything.
I decided to play baseball because it was the only non-contact sport.
Okay.
And then
all right. We're not trying to measure who's.
Wrap it up, teenage.
Never mind.
No, I'm just saying, let the kids, you got to let the children experience all that what they can.
100%.
So anyway, so I don't think I have really any more shout outs. So I'll just say this.
I'm a wolf.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
You got to decide. You a wolf or a sheep. We out.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.